She is power. She is love. She is hope. She inspires. She is many journeys in one lifetime. She is the people, an individual, a never-ending story of the beauty of possibility.
I nearly didn't get into medical school, I put it that way. I got rejected from a couple of medical schools.
I was a treasury officer, went through the ranks in treasury.
You find the whole reverend thing geared towards the male.
So I had to learn now how to find my voice. I think the other thing for me would be hard work and continuous self-improvement.
My faith is everything.
Be a part of She Inspires this and every Wednesday on the I Am Drive on Sunny 88.7 FM, 8:30 AM and live on Facebook same time. Also join in on Sunny TV every Wednesday at 8:30 PM. She Inspires is proudly brought to you by She Inspires.
Who was taking care of your siblings at the time both of you were
Exactly.
here?
So my grandmother. Okay. So my mom said, no, we should go the next day. We've already have enough money. Why are we still here? And I said, no, we want to do that. So the next day, the next Friday, so this is Wednesday, Friday, my mom went to buy firewood and she was crossing the road. So firewood in a basin. So she was crossing the road and a tractor driver knocked her.
Was it a bad hit?
Very bad, and up to now it still affects her. So when the tractor driver knocked her, we took her to the hospital, and within like 10 minutes, all the money that we have worked, I mean, as a car, when it's raining, sometimes you have to get up and put a basin and stand in front of the rain until the rain stops. And when the rain stops, you can't sleep because the place is wet. Tying your leg, which is very uncomfortable, sleeping outside. You do all this, and with working for a year, within 10 minutes, all the money that you have saved is gone. Why
the
am I
tractor driver who hit her with the car wasn't there to support
He was there, but his situation is
was worse than you had been on the
my own
streets.
is good.
How did it feel when you looked at this money you had saved for a year just passing through your hands because for the love of your mom, you wanted your mom to be well? What was going through your mind?
For me, at that time, I thought I had the worst life when it comes to what could go wrong in someone's life. Because, like, I know my situation isn't good. It's not like I'm not doing it. I'm working so hard to change that. There are things that you can't change time. So things happen for a reason. So I was going out of the hospital to get my mother food.
By then, how long had mom been in the hospital?
Like about 6 hours.
6 hours.
So I was going out of the hospital to get my mother food, and I saw this woman. She was crying in the hospital, and a lot of people were trying to hold her, calm her down. So I went closer and asked why she was crying, and they told me that her only daughter was in the emergency room and needed blood. The woman's blood is not enough to be given to the child. The husband is outside the country. So, and a lot of people have tried. Their blood type doesn't match the girl. So I decided that, okay, I mean, I'm here. There's nothing I can do about my life, but if I can find a way, so I went.
But to think that, I mean, your mom was in hospital, all your money had gone, and you were thoughtful enough to ask someone who was crying what was wrong with them.
I mean, the thing is, you should see how the woman was crying.
Okay.
But the thing is, my situation, it has happened. It doesn't matter what I do. It has already happened. But here's the woman. She needs blood. She's in the present. So what can I do to help her?
So
I checked. I went to the lab and they tested my blood. Even though I was chewing a lot of gari and all that, I still had enough blood to be given to the girl. So I gave the girl my blood, and later the mother came to thank me for what I did for her daughter. And then she asked me what happened. Trust me, I went into details.
You went into details.
So I told her all that, and she said, oh, what did I get? I told her I had 9, and she said, have I heard of Comfort Ghana? Do you know Comfort Ghana?
I'm hearing about it from you.
Yes, so Comfort Ghana is Campaign for Female Education. They support
for female education.
So they support young girls, especially girls from the north, to go to school, start a business. Yeah, she told me about it and how I could get in contact with them. So I went to Comfort office, and they were super excited to meet me.
By the time you went to the office, was mom still in the hospital, or she was
No,
outside
when everything was
had
down,
settled.
it had settled. So I stayed home for 2 years after my secondary school.
Up to your senior high school.
So I later went to Comfort office, and they were super excited to meet me. So I
Who
met.
wouldn't be excited to meet you? I mean.
Oh, so I met this amazing Auntie Sally. She's like everything. She was so supportive. So they asked me, I wanted to go to training class. They said, no, why do I want to go to training? I said, because I can get money. They said, no, if you have the Comfort scholarship, we are going to support you along the way. Like everything that you need, you get it. Your school fees, everything will be provided. So what do you want to do? I said, okay, I want to go to university. So I applied to Central University, KNUST, Legon. I didn't know Ashesi. So they were super excited. They said, oh, we applied for Ashesi. What is Ashesi? I didn't know. I said, okay, whatever you want to do. So I applied anyway. I wasn't interested. So Ashesi accepted, and I had to go for an interview. In the car, I was sleeping. So Comfort actually paid for a place for me to stay in Accra to go for my interview with Ashesi. When I was going for the interview, I didn't care because I knew, like, in school, a lot of people would say, oh, I want to go tech. I couldn't say it. So I knew, like, those schools were the schools that I wanted to go. So I was
weren't too thrilled.
Exactly. I wasn't excited to go for the interview. But Comfort said I should go. They were excited about the school. I was wondering why. So I said, okay, I'll go for the interview anyway. So I went. I was sleeping in the car throughout the journey. But when I got there, the environment, like I was still in Ghana.
Teni, for someone who was not thrilled about it.
But when I saw the environment, it was different from what I'm used to. So I knew, like, this was the place for me. So I went for my interview, and usually during the interview, there is a place that they will ask you, please tell me about yourself. So, and trust me,
your story.
So I started talking to them about myself, my family, where I came from. And when I finished, I was actually I already got the Comfort scholarship. So regardless of any university that I wanted to go, I was going to get the scholarship. So when I went to Ashesi later called and said, we want to offer you a MasterCard scholarship at Ashesi.
How did that feel when that
So right now, I was super excited because all my life I have to work for everything. And trust me, as a young person, paying your own school fees, you work so hard and you take the money, you go and give it to someone, it's hard. So when I got as a MasterCard scholarship, your school fees, accommodation, feeding, stipend, transportation, every year you get an opportunity to go outside. I mean, it's a MasterCard scholarship, so you meet other scholars. It was good. So I was super excited.
From Bulgar Girls been to Ashesi, and you talk about how new the environment was. What's some of the new things that were so new to you? You didn't even know how to go about them, trying to get to school.
I mean, for one, my hostel, right? I didn't know that you can actually turn and then the water will become hot. It was nice. Like the place that I was sleeping, the people, I had the president's and minister's student in my class.
In your class.
It was nice. It was like I had my own laptop. I mean, I had never touched a computer in my life. And here's the case, I have my own laptop given to, it's not for anyone, it's for me. Like, this is for me. And
you're not sharing. There's no rope or material tied to it with another person.
Like, I own it. And I have a card, this card that any food that I wanted, I don't have to struggle, think about where I'm going to get food. I just go and swipe and the food will come to me and I'll eat. Life was good.
It was good.
Where I came from, I don't watch TV. I don't know how to type. I don't know, I don't read books. So I'll go for written and oral class. They are talking about a movie. And the lecturer will ask them, like, the movie is so basic that everyone should have watched that movie. But then here's the case, I haven't. And did you see what term will you use for where the man killed the woman? And people will be laughing. I can't relate to I didn't watch it. I'll finish, pack my things, and we are doing programs. So at Ashesi, it's a liberal arts college.
But that never affected your confidence or anything?
Oh, it actually affected me. I mean, the way I dressed was different from my colleagues. The way my confidence level was very low. So, and here's the case, I couldn't type. So by the time programming class, actually we do the same.
You had
course.
A laptop that was yours, but you couldn't type.
So programming class, by the time the lecturer will finish, my lecturer was a white person, a white man. So by the time he will finish the code, I'm looking for where ZW is on the
on the keyboard.
Life was hard.
This is She Inspires with Teni Agana, founder of Loozeele. Stay with us. We'll be back with more.
Me brony. Na den na wanu me drama na ache wa no pe wa nom okọ. Me so ya no pe bia. Ansana me ko menwuma so no. Menya de pe bi. Let me share it with you. Daffy's Ohima feminine mixture. Aye me secret ba ko pa aboa me. Boso me bia, me menses e bakama. Abra menti ya obia. E flow mami. Me wo ye chi no. Na me menses no e ma ye. Me sha ase anom Daffy's Ohima feminine mixture no. E bankasa with no pain. So Daffy's Ohima feminine mixture. The best yes you.
Open a did with Duffy's Health and Beauty Ewo East Legon American House Kumasenso ye Bank Tech Hospital enye map him for Sankratwe FDA ashushe mwajia tumuse eye
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. The snow said I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days, may your days, may your days be merry and bright.
Welcome back from the break. This is She Inspires, and we're with Teni Agana. She's the founder of Loozeele, and she's telling us more about what Loozeele is, what it stands for, and what they hope to achieve. So, Teni, you are this girl who knew, I mean, I can do this. I've worked hard. I've been through Boga Girls, but this time it was different for you. Okay.
I did, like for typing or for programming, I have to learn how to type because, I mean, it's not something that you'll be behind. All my courses, I have to type them. And so if I'm doing WZ, it wouldn't work for me. So in my first semester, I failed 3 courses. I passed 1. My GPA was 1.25. which was below average. It should be 2. So if you are first semester, you are below the average. The second semester you should be up, or if not, you either be up on probation or they'll sack you. So that's the rule. So here's the case. I've worked so hard. If Ashesi kick me out or if they sack me, I'm going back to Seriko, and eventually my sister will have to come to Accra to work or Kumasi to work. And so the cycle continues. So I have to ask for a lot of help from my class. Those who are, you know, in university, a lot of people are raising. I have to ask you, come to them, go to them, talk to them for them to support me. So I have to, when my colleagues are asleep, now I'm learning how to type. Maybe Beacon was my best friend at that time.
Teddy, you know, you have quite an interesting story because I know eventually you picked up the highest award.
Yeah,
anyone could get at a Shesi.
Yeah, I mean,
the presidential award.
Yeah,
that was big.
Yeah,
how did that feel? I mean,
it was good because I mean, Shesi wasn't easy for me. I had to do a lot of catching up because, and second semester my GPA moved to 3.0, and I started being on the dean's list. The dean's list is getting 3.5 and above. And when I finished, when I settled in Shesi, like there's nothing that.
Nothing could stop you.
Exactly. I was on fire. Apart from my academics, I had to take extra jobs so I can get enough money to support my family because the mad houses was falling. So I had to make enough money so we can build a new one.
I want you to tell me about receiving that presidential award. How did that feel?
Yeah, it was great. So the presidential award is the highest award an Ashesi student can get. And every year is given to 3 students. So for scholarships, so scholarship is a student academically, not just you, but then being able to support other people. And having gone through my first semester and how I felt, I supported some of my colleagues, and especially those who came first year and had similar challenges. The second one is citizenship. So citizenship is not just supporting other communities. I mean, coming from Seriko, you realize that my parents were not educated, so I had to find an inner motivation. In the community that Ashesi is located, we call it Brekusu, and we have children who had similar parents like mine. So I joined Brekusu Math Project, where we support the kids, and we have leadership. So when after I settled in Ashesi, I took a lot of leadership position. I was a resident assistant. I did a lot of things.
Wow.
So that's the presidential award for you. Yes. And so it was given to me by the president of Ghana, Nana Addo, during my graduation. Yeah, and it was great.
That would definitely be memorable for you. What does Loozeele mean?
Yes, Loozeele means
Loozeele.
Hope. Yes, it means hope. It's a Fafra word, so that means hope. So the idea is that when we go to the Kayayes, we'll be able to, when we tell them the Loozeele, they know that we'll be able to create hope for them. So Loozeele came in when I was in Ashesi during my 3rd year. I went back home and I realized that some of my friends that I came to the South Wake to work as Kayaye, some of them were still Kayayes, and others too have given birth to, within like 5 years, others have given birth to 3, 4 children. Within 5 hours.
You couldn't believe it.
Exactly. So I was thinking in my 3rd year, how do I find ways to support these girls? How do we find ways to support younger? I mean, in all ways, you realize that these young girls are here to work in order to earn an income to support them. So how do we help them earn an income and at the same time go to school? So that was actually my thesis topic that I studied. I did a lot of research at Ashesi for a whole year. So during my final year, I presented it and for my thesis. But when I finished Ashesi, I wanted to take it up. It wasn't just an idea for my thesis. It was something that I was passionate about. Since 2018, I've been working together with 4 other co-founders. So I didn't have the resources. I couldn't do it all. So even though it was my idea, I brought on board 4 other Ashesi students, Ashesi graduates, to help me start it. So the 5 of us started Loozeele initiative.
So what are some of the things you're helping these girls out with?
So what Loozeele,
being able to go to school.
Exactly. So what we do is in the north there are a lot of resources, there are a lot of talents, a lot of people can do a lot of things. For instance, we have shea butter. The shea nuts are in the north. Growing up, you learn how to make shea butter. So girls know how to make shea butter. Like this beautiful fabric that I'm wearing, we have simple machines that they use to put it together. And they make those fabric. We have woven bags, beads, work, and all that. So what we do is, currently we have 50 girls, and what we do is 30 of them were Kayayes here that we've taken them.
You've taken them back
home, and they are doing it. 20 of them were girls in the north. So we are tackling it in 2 ways: encouraging those who are already in the south to come home and do it, and then those who are already there, making sure that they are engaged, they get enough money to support them, so they don't come here anyway. So those are the 2 things. And out of the 50, we have 20 girls who actually go to school. They are students. When they close, they come and make it, and then we sell the items for them. So we make shea butter, woven bags, fabrics, and the fabric, we have different design. We have kimonos, saute, different things that they can make. So these are some of the things that they do in order to, and we also have bank accounts for them. So instead of giving them the money for them to eat, we also have bank accounts that every month 30% of the sale or the product that they make goes to that bank account for them, so that in future or for unforeseen circumstances they can use it to plan their 70% goes to them so they can eat, go to school, support their families, whatever they want to do.
Teni, how do you feel when you see how what you're doing through Loozeele is changing the lives of these young girls?
I'm excited because I wish I had an opportunity like that. I wouldn't have to come to Kumasi to tie my legs and sleep in the rain and all that. So I'm very excited that I'm able to support them. I mean, in the next 10 years, currently we have over 200,000 Kayayes. So in the next 10 years, we want to ensure that rural urban migration is a thing of the past, and a young girl from the north can actually stay in the north, go to school, or achieve whatever dream or ambitions that they want without having to be raped, without having to come to Accra, sleep on the streets and all that. So that's the goal, that's the plan that that's the new vision that we see that we are working towards.
Teni, I think you're an epitome of hard work, honestly. And for anyone watching us who is going through the challenges that you faced before in your quest to be able to fund your education for school, what advice would you give them? You know how it feels. You've been there.
Yeah.
What would be your advice?
So I think I have 3. The first one is just to let them know that it doesn't matter where you are born or who you are born to, or where you come from. What matters is where you want to see yourself. And so if it's something that you really want, you need to put in the work. Like, it won't come. You can't sit there for, people won't do. People want to see what you've done. For instance, for me, if I hadn't worked hard to get my grades, comfort wouldn't have helped me. The score, I wouldn't have gotten the score, but because I put in the work, the opportunities were able to locate me. If you don't put in the work, even when it's your time, you can't get it because you don't have the qualification.
Prepared for it, yeah.
So you have to prepare for it. It doesn't matter where you come from or who you are born to. You can't determine it, but then you can determine where you want to be and who you want to become. The second thing is to be kind to anyone. It doesn't matter whether the person can help you or not. For me, that's one thing that has always worked for me. And if I hadn't gone there to meet the woman who was crying and be willing to support her, I don't think I would be in Ashesi, or I would have been able to know Comfort Ghana. Even if my life would have been different. So we should be kind to one another. And the last thing, if it's really your passion, put in the work. Trust me, when Loozeele, we've had a lot of challenges. We've had a lot of challenges, problems here and there. Talking about funding, markets. When COVID hit, it's really affected us. But then if it's really your passion, go out and put in the work and see it grow.
Teni, what are your hobbies?
I like watching movies.
Okay.
I like dancing.
Because you missed out on a lot of movies while growing up, so
that's
you should
okay.
like watching some movies.
I remember in university, right? So when the lecturer, when they mentioned those movies, I'll write it down and I'll go and watch it.
So now you're making up for the lost times.
Yes, and I also like dancing too.
You love to dance.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Teni, it's been amazing having you on She Inspires, and I don't know how your story will not ginger or encourage anyone out there who's possibly facing challenges you face to just focus and have a dream and have a plan.
Yes.
Teni, bless you so much for joining
you.
us on She Inspires, for opening up and sharing your story with us. I am truly inspired, and I know anyone who's listened to us, who's watched us today, has been inspired by your story as well. And I know that some young girl listening or watching you today, you've just changed the thought process somewhere for someone, and their story is going to be different from today. Thank you all for joining us on She Inspires. I've been with Teni Agana. She's founder of Loozeele. She's been our inspiring woman on She Inspires today. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Hotel Kasareri, Glassell Company Limited, Mianan Foods, Sarah Ban for my clothing, Ajile Jewelry for my earrings and accessories, also Royal Peaches Glam for my makeup. Thank you all for supporting She Inspires, not forgetting Eddie's Pizza.
She Inspires.